Good afternoon, everyone. This is Shankar Ponsale, and I am telling you a little bit about the three mindset shifts you can have as a physician, as someone who works in healthcare, that will help you with being self employed, that will help you with attracting more people to your practice. Because as you start your own practice, you are also a business owner. And nowadays, every business has also a media component to it. You have to build up a brand, preferably a personal brand, if you can represent your business as the lead physician. That would be ideal. We're going to talk about that. For now, I will want to thank you so much for your time, for being with me here live. We're going to, talk for about 20 minutes, I would say. I am recording this in a software that doesn't let me to be on the platform that you are on right now, but I do want to make sure that I connect with you later. So please, in the comments section, type the word live or type the sentence I am ready so that I can come back to you later and see how we can connect. So the first mindset shift that you have to adopt as a physician or as a healthcare professional who wants to attract people's attention is the idea of truly wanting to help. And let me explain what I mean by that. I don't want to say that you don't have the willingness to help. No, I know that this has probably been one of the driving factors behind you choosing to become a doctor. But when I say truly wanting to help, I mean that you have to almost become passionate about it. You have to really put it into the forefront of what drives you. You have to go back into your memory, maybe go back to when before you even applied for med school. I am convinced that you have had role models that you looked up to, maybe prominent physicians in the industry, or maybe your parents, maybe a relative, and you just knew deep in your heart that you wanted to become a doctor too, because you wanted to make this community a healthier community. So you have to find that passion, that obsession, and you have to find that again. If you have lost it, or if it has kind of taken a back seat in the whirlwind of everything you have to do as a physician, and you have to start talking about that again. There are a few people, a few physicians out there that truly excel at that. And I'm going to tell you about one that really has gotten national recognition for shedding light on how certain things in healthcare work, and that is Dr. Marty Makary. He has written a book, which I highly recommend, The Price We Pay. And in this book, he talks about a lot of topics that truly are mind-boggling in a way. He talks about how healthcare is priced. He talks about appropriateness. He talks about quality standards within the profession. And it is truly an amazing read for physicians and also for the general public who ask themselves, why is healthcare so expensive? And why do we have the feeling that often there are things that we do that don't quite make sense? So Dr. McCary has adopted as his primary mission to educate people about this topic. I have met him in person a couple of years ago when I helped organize a conference here in San Antonio within the San Antonio Free Market Medical Association. By the way, you see an address blended in here that I want you to go to. You can sign up for a masterclass that I will have on April 9th, about 90 minutes, and we can dive more into this topic of truly understanding what mindset shift you need to apply in order to become successful as a self-employed doctor. The second mindset shift I want to talk about is your willingness to become accessible. I shall say I really want to be very careful about not making you feel like I don't think you want to help. I just think that maybe for some of you that has, by nature of the circumstances, that has had to take a back seat. But you need to find back that passion. You need to find back that obsession, because that is that fire within you. That is what's going to drive you in building your clinic and in building your business. So that will actually lead into the next mindset shift, which is being okay to be accessible again to the very people that will be the ones paying you, your patients. And by that, I don't necessarily mean that you have to hand out your personal cell phone, or you have to kind of make yourself completely accessible. Although that is a possibility, and we'll talk about that. That is an approach that you could take, but I mean by that the general population has this almost reverent fear to approach a physician, and that kind of needs to be reduced a little bit, because people always get into a business relationship with someone else because they can relate to them and they trust them and they feel understood. They feel that there is a connection, and that connection cannot happen when you sit on your high horse. And again, I'm not saying that you're doing that. I'm just saying that circumstantially that may be a situation that you find yourself in. One example of a physician here in San Antonio that I know personally, Dr. Roger Mochigemba, he actually goes out and readily gives people his personal cell phone number if they truly mean that, if there's like a serious reason for doing so, like for example giving it to a company leader or giving it to a person who is truly sick and concerned about themselves or about loved ones. I was so surprised when I saw him hand out his cell phone number. And it's truly magical, because people are just so taken by surprise that they actually get to have access to their physician, that they just cannot believe it. And it builds up this distinguishing factor, this magical unique selling proposition that we need in business. So I'm not saying that you need to go that far, but you need to find some way of being okay to having an open channel of communication with your patients and with your prospects. In business, we talk about a prospect and a lead, right? A prospect is a potential customer to your business, which a future patient may be if you have a practice. And a lead is a person who has indicated, taken an action that shows interest in actually working with you, which in this case would become your patient. And so we will talk more about that in an upcoming masterclass that I have for you for free. It'll be live. It won't be recorded. You have to go to shanksacademy.com and register. Let's talk about another example. Dr. Paul Thomas. I actually have a picture with him that I want to share with you. I'm going to share my screen here. There you go. Okay, so this is Dr. Paul Thomas and myself within the DPC world, direct primary care, membership-based medicine. He is a prominent figure, one could say, and I met him several years ago in Chicago at the occasion of a conference. But he actually was talking about, he still talks a lot about personal branding. And he said that on Facebook, for instance, he accepts personal friend requests by his patients and by his community. Now, again, that is maybe not something you feel comfortable with, and that is totally okay. Maybe you don't have your personal Facebook page that you use for that, but maybe you have a community support group, such as Dr. Granida's Facebook page, a Facebook group for people who suffer from arthritis and rheumatoid arthritis. She has a support group there that I believe by now has close to 4,000 patients. Well, they're not her patients. It's just people who are suffering with that disease. And she is in that form accessible to a degree that most other physicians are not, right? So that is another example of where you just have this mindset shift of being accessible to some degree. So that is Dr. Paul Thomas. He is in, let's see, Detroit, I believe. And his clinic is Plum Health. And he's really a master in branding. He knows how to get on TV. He knows how to get into the newspapers. He even has a course out there for, I think it's called Startup DPC. If you want to look at it, I think it's very affordable. It's like $90 or something like that. So definitely check that out. So we've been talking about finding that passion and that obsession again to help. And that is very important that you find that again. That was my first tip for today. The second one is finding a willingness to be accessible to a certain degree, whatever feels comfortable to you, okay? But you cannot be sitting on your high horse in your ivory tower and not have any channel of communication whatsoever with your future patients. That is just not something that our society feels attracted to anymore. That makes sense. The third mindset shift that I want to talk about is your willingness to become an agent of change. that is really important because, as you know, nowadays, our youngest generation and a lot of people actually who are interested in improving the world, they are willing to step up for what they believe in. And if you become one of them, they feel like they have an ally in you. And if you use your expertise and your platform and your credibility that is automatically awarded to you because of your degree, because of your knowledge, then you will make a lot of friends within your target audience, which is your patients, your future patients, right? So one person, again, I want to give you an example. One person that really does a good job in that, and you will find a common pattern that these physicians write books, right? But one of them is Dr. Tony Dale. So I met him as well not too long ago. Here you can see that's actually Andrea. She's the Chief Operating Officer of my company, Shanks. And then here you have Mr. Forbes. And then here you see Dr. Tony Dale. So Dr. Tony Dale wrote this book, The Cure for Healthcare. And can you see the similarities? So this is The Cure for Healthcare by Dr. Tony Dale. And this is the price we pay. And you can see it says here, what broke American healthcare and how we can fix it. Okay, so these people write these books because they truly want to be an agent of change. And Dr. Tony Dale is the physician behind Sedera, which is a big health share located in Austin, Texas, and really has become a very important component of the free market movement, a very important component of direct primary care, because they have a product or a plan that is very complementary to direct primary care. In other words, direct primary care physicians often find themselves in the situation where they're being asked, okay, so what happens when I am a member of your clinic, but I get an ailment or a need that you cannot help me with anymore, and I need to kind of go a step further. Well, that's when health share comes into play, and Sedera helps with that. Sedera helps with finding other options on the free market in terms of cash pay options or you name it. So yeah, that is all information that I will definitely include into my masterclass on April 9th. And I need you to go to shanksacademy.com, shankxacademy.com, and register for that masterclass. It'll be about 90 minutes, I think. And the goal of this masterclass is to really make it super valuable for any physician out there that is either considering going self-employed or that has already a business or a clinic or a practice that they're trying to grow on their own. And I want to talk a little bit in that masterclass about what you can do. Actually, the title of the masterclass is 3 Easy Ways You Can Market Yourself as a Doctor. It is, again, free to attempt. I'm not going to record it. Your compensation to me is your time that you spend with us. We're going to have a very interesting time and talk about a few tips and tricks that will help you. Okay, I'm gonna close this for now. Don't forget to comment and leave your thoughts, type in live or ready to go or thank you or whatever you feel is appropriate. So I can, after I close this live feed, I can go back later and connect with you and see what you're up to. For now, thank you so much for your time. I truly appreciate, I know you're busy, and you'll see from me again very, very soon on this platform. Bye for now.